Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to our B'nai Mitzvah family, our visiting guests, our not guests, our regular folks. Welcome to all of you. It's so good to have you here in the sanctuary with us. We begin our service tonight on page 120 with the lighting of the Shabbat candles, and I'd like to invite up Gabby and Mark to come up and light the candles and say the blessing. Here, we can move this aside for now. You'll need this tomorrow. This is a rite of passage too, Gabby, to learn how to use a lighter. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. And now we continue on with our service by welcoming in the Sabbath bride with Lecha Dodi on pages 138 and 139. We sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, and when we reach verse 9, I invite you, if you're able, to rise and face the door and imagine Shabbat entering our sanctuary, coming down the aisle to join us in our sacred time and space here tonight. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela, Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki hi mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, kiva orech kumi ori, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai Allahayich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha uvetzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Please be seated. And now that we have opened up our hearts with our opening nigun, we've lit our Shabbat candles and welcomed in the Sabbath bride, we are ready to segue into our evening service with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 263. Yitkada v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, be'alma divrach hirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchayedecho bet Yisrael, bagala, uvizman kariv, ve'imeru amen. Yehesh meraba mevarach, ve'alamul ame amaya, yidbarach, ve'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yiromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal, shemei dekudesha b'richu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, tahamiran be'alma, ve'imeru amen. On page 264, please prepare yourself for the call to worship, the Baruchu. Yai da da da, yai da 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 da, yai da da da, yai da 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 da da, yai da 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 da, yai da 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 da, yai da 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 da. Yai da da da, yai da 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 da. Barechu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach, hamevorach. Le'olam va'ed, ha'mevorach, ha'mevorach, le'olam va'ed. You may be seated. We continue on page 265. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you, and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Page 266. We read responsively. In each age, we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment, we are addressed by the world. In each age, we are challenged by our ancient teaching. In each moment, we stand face to face with truth. In each age, we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder. In each age, the children of Torah become builders and seek to set the world firm on the foundation of truth. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. On page 267 and 268 is the Shema and the Ahavta. I invite you to prepare yourself for these words of Torah. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha Bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meotecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha veshinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlachtecha b'derech Uvshach becha, uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot beinenecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha. Leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kedoshim Elohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim l'hiot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. You may be seated, and we continue responsively again on page 269. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all. Before our eyes there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness. There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to console the soul. When will redemption come? When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves. Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High. We learned God's presence redeems time and event, so we celebrate this power that makes it free. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi kamocha neder bakodesh, nora tehilo dosef ele, nora tehilo dosef ele, malechutecha ra'u banecha bokei ayam lifnei Moshe ze'eli. Anu ve'ameru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed mi chamocha bailim Adonai mi kamocha neder bakodesh nora tehilo dosef ele nora tehilo dosef ele. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety, and in your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 272. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Beni uven b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. On page 273, we come to the central portion of our prayer service. The Amidah continues over the next few pages. I invite you to prepare yourself for this set of blessings. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, v'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, u'mevi geula livnei v'neihem, leman shemo be'ahava, melech ozer u'moshia u'magen, baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye hakol atah rav lehoshia, morid hatal, Mechakel chayim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofeh cholim, homatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, omidal melach, Melech meimit u'mechayeh u'matzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. You may be seated. And we continue together on page 278. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfills its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Be gracious, Adonai, our God, to your people Israel, and receive our prayers with love. Oh, may our worship always be acceptable to you. Fill us with the knowledge that you are near to all who seek you in truth. Let our eyes behold your presence in our midst and in the midst of our people in Zion. Blessed is Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato l'tzion. On page 281, we read responsively. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the strength to improve the world of our hearts and minds, we offer praise. For the desire in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful. For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow, all praise to you. For all these things, O Sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'el lehodot. Page 282. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, b'chol eit uv'chol sha'ah, bishlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Baruch atah Adonai hamevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. On pages 283 through 285, we have a moment of silent prayer. You might use the words on the page or the meditations of your own heart. Yehiyu l'ratzon imrei fi vehegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri. Vegoali. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, Adonai, our rock and redeemer. We turn our thoughts now to those who are ill or injured or recovering from surgeries and in need of prayers for healing. We have on our list Rosalind Cantu, Lori Perry, Nick Joliat, Rhonda Butler, Minna and Ira Dornfeld, Frank Lerner, Ali France, Shmuel Yosef Ben Yisrael Tzvi, Ann Cohen, Anita Ash, Patty Bergeron, Josiah Miller, Debbie Rubenstein, Jed Michael, Kathy Katz, Taliba Hassan, and Donna Goldstein. If anyone else has a name they'd like to add, please do so now. we hold in our hearts all those in need of prayers of healing of mind, body, and spirit. Mi sheberach avotenu mikor habracha ve'imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We also hold in our hearts all those in need, all those in our community who are active military duty, first responders, and peacekeepers, those around the world whose jobs are dangerous so that our lives might not be. We have on that list Oni Hananun, Joshua Ehrlichman, Martin Brown, Howard Mergler, Kyle Smet, Andrew Booth, Joseph Cald, Pete Abelson, Jeremy Sharkey, Benjamin Hurd, Alexander Furman, Daniel Gilman, Curtis Miller, Rob Apgar, Ben Farrell, Caleb Menzies, Francis Petrarca, Noah Kaplan, Aaron Breeding, Dakota Rollins, Jacob Duvris, Jana Ingraham, and Tyler Adcock. And of course, all those. Thank you. And all those in the armed services and on the ships at sea that tune in and watch us from our YouTube channel. May the one who blessed our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and our mothers, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, bless those who are serving in our armed services. May God guard them and keep them from harm. If they find themselves in danger's path, may God bring them back whole of mind and body to all those who love them. May it be your will, Adonai Tzevaot, to lead them to safety and to protect them from each and every enemy and ambush. May God make their journey successful and guard their going out and coming in with mercy and love, and let them be blessed to return home with life and peace now and forever. And let us say, Amen. Now, tomorrow, you're going to hear two wonderful, related but different Divrei Torah from our B'nai Mitzvah. So instead of giving yet a third one this Shabbat, I've got a story for us. It's not a family Shabbat, but adults like picture books sometimes too. The Forever Garden, on the theme of coming of age and L'Dor Vador, passing the torch from generation to generation. The Forever Garden by Laurel Snyder and Samantha Cotterill. In sunshine and shower, in darkness and wind, honey tends her garden. Honey's knees are always muddy. Sometimes, when it's cold outside, she tucks her garden in. Shh. When the lettuces are small and new, honey thins them. Her scissors say, shh. And the peas climb up. Honey pulls her beets from the ground with a shout that scares the chickens. Ha! Honey sings to the kale. She says it sings back, but I can't hear it. Not even when I listen real close. I hang on the fence in the mornings. Honey feeds me tiny carrots washed under the pump. Yellow tomatoes the size of marbles. They taste like sunshine. When it rains, I watch from the windows. Sometimes Mom sends me to Honey for an egg to bake with. Honey's eggs are pink and green, smooth and speckled. The chickens get mad and scatter. Cluck, 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 cluck. Presto, says Honey as she slips an egg into my hand. The egg is warm. Each Friday night, I ask Honey to dinner. She brings bouquets of funny things, squash blossoms, rosemary, raspberries on a prickly branch. Nothing matches, but everything fits, and the table smells like a meadow. On nice nights, Honey eats in her garden, beans and salad, a jug of water from the pump, tinkling cold. When the fireflies come out, I go over for dessert. Honey always has a cookie. I have 2 or 3. But one day, there's a sign in Honey's yard. Angry letters shout, "For sale." What's up, I ask. Honey peers at the sky. Rain, maybe? No, I mean, are you moving? Honey stares at the garden. Yes, she says. My mother is sick. She needs me. Oh, I say. I'm sorry. Me too. I kneel down. My knees get muddy, just like Honey's. The next day, I lie under the sunflowers and watch Honey plant strawberries. Chickens doze, a bee buzzes. You know, there might be wasps where you're moving to, I warn her, or tornadoes. Honey turns to me and smiles. I'll miss you too, she says. I touch a strawberry leaf, dark and glossy, and it trembles. We walk to the porch for a cool glass of water. When will the berries be ready, I ask. Next summer, says Honey. But then you won't be here to eat them. Honey takes off her gloves. Nope, she says, but someone will. That's not fair, I say. It's your garden. This garden isn't really mine, says Honey. It belongs to everyone. But you did all the work, I say. Honey shakes her head. I didn't plant the grapes. I only ate them. Then who did? Honey shrugs. No way to know, but that's just fine. The new folks will enjoy these strawberries the way I enjoyed the grapes. And if they add something to the garden, it will keep going, maybe forever. The next day, I ask to plant a tree. Apples are my favorite. We dig and dig. I get blisters. But when we're finished, Honey says the tree will last a long, long time. Like a person, she tells me, but with flowers. I need a sign so people will know. Bye, Honey. After that, Mom has to remember to buy eggs at the store. They aren't speckled at all. And nobody eats in the garden. But one day, there are new people at Honey's. Lots of people. Little people. They don't seem to know anything about gardens. So I help. Each day, I slip over the fence to check on things. I weed the rows. I say hi to my trees. Sometimes I sing to the kale. And you know what? When the world is very quiet, if I close my eyes, I can almost hear it singing back. Shabbat Shalom. So now we turn toward our concluding prayers with the Aleinu on page 586. I'd like to invite Gabby and Mark back up to help me open the ark. And I'd like to invite you all to prepare yourself for the ark to be open. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, lated gedula liotzer breshit, Shelo asanu kogoye haratzot, velo samanu kamishpechot ha'adama, Shelo sam chalkenu kahem, vigoralenu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol ha'aretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Thank you. You may be seated. We turn our thoughts now to those who are no longer with us in body, but remain with us in spirit. We mark a yahrzeit this week for William Gilman, Sidney Daniels, Catherine Morris, Cesar La Negra, Lieutenant Corporal Colin Joseph Wolfe, Robert Sherman, Henry Burdett Berry, and Tilly Zutz. And we are still within a year of mourning for Samuel Fallis, Elaine Skolnick, Edith Herman, Phyllis Rosen, Jill Rosen, Jack Schuber, Aaron Scanlon, Lieutenant Colonel Stanley Heath, and Mary Kennedy. If anyone else has a name they'd like to add, please do so. Mourners and those who wish to join them may rise for the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Yitgadal b'yitkadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudesha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlam araba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. You may be seated. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 V'imru. Amen. A couple of announcements before we close. Of course, tomorrow morning is the B'nai Mitzvah of Mark and Gabby Halver, and I hope you will join us again here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Next week is our annual Patriot Shabbat. Services still do start at 7:30, but we will be joined by many guests, the various first responders and military and veteran groups in the area, as well as some of our county supervisors and delegates. And it's always a great community building event. So I hope you will join us again next week at 7:30. And the High Holy Days are just around the corner. So Slichot is Saturday, September 17th, and Rosh Hashanah is Sunday, September 25th, and Monday, September 26th. And there's just so much happening here for all of the High Holy Days. So please, check your emails, the website, the Facebooks, wherever you get our scheduling. It's up on all of the places. The registration is live on the website. We're not doing physical tickets, but we do ask that everyone register so we can kind of keep an eye on numbers, since it is usually a bigger crowd than any other service of the year. So yes, please do that. Did I miss anything? No, I don't think so. All right. Our closing song tonight is Shalom Aleichem on page 627. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech, malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Barchuni leshalom, malachei hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please join us for an oneg and kiddush outside right after this.